Welcome to the ArmaniTalks YouTube channel. I'm your host, ArmaniTalks. In this channel, I'm covering communication skills for you to level up your way with words and become much more articulate. In today's episode, we are entering the land of professional skills, and I'm going to be talking about an important position that has been arising in a lot of corporate spaces. This is the job where you're not necessarily creating emails, but instead, you're forwarding the emails to relevant teams. These types of jobs are prevalent in financial industries, technology industries, and you could even say in the management sector of manufacturing industries. And there are people who are like, wait a minute, this isn't even a real job. I mean, you're not necessarily creating anything of value. You're getting people in touch. And that's the point. That is the value. I believe there are a couple of things you need to do in order to survive in a field like this. First thing you want to do is you want to put some respect on your own name. There are individuals that can't necessarily articulate what they do for a living. Whenever someone comes up to them and they're like, hey, Bill, what do you do? Bill is not too sure because he is somewhat of a liaison, as you can say. He doesn't necessarily create anything, but he gets people in touch. He creates a lot of these email threads, asks for follow-ups, and every now and then he has this stern delivery when people are not doing their jobs appropriately. But what does Bill really do? I mean, for a living, he sends emails and he doesn't even create the emails. He kind of just adds people on the email thread. And day by day, he's losing confidence in himself. He's like, man, this is not a good job. I mean, look at guys like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos. They're building something and here I am, just connecting people together. I think this is the wrong way to do it because eventually a guy like Bill, he's going to start to lag in his responses and the company is going to suffer for it. Just understand, Bill, the level of corporate evolution that we have done, your role is needed. You provide value because so many of the systems nowadays are automated. And companies, large-scale companies, they have this thing called microservices where you don't have to do that much grunt work. All you need to do is figure out what the problem is and then do your best to connect the right teams to the problem. And this is you providing value in today's landscape. So the number one thing you want to do is you want to put respect on your name. And by putting respect on your name, you will do the second thing, which is present yourself accordingly. See, whenever people see someone's emails a lot, they start to see that this guy is visible. You are working in a role that is highly visible, and you want to carry yourself as such. I see people who have jobs where they're pretty much forwarding emails for a living, and they don't even have a profile picture. They don't even have a signature on their Outlook. You need to work on these types of stuff because you are building visibility, whether you like it or not. People are going to be seeing your name. That's why it's really important to put your face on your Outlook. You want to get a nice signature. If you have a high authority position, you want to put your position in your signature. These are ways that you build clout. Even if you send one email a day, understand that there are positions that work behind the scenes for months and they never send out an email. So they are working behind the scenes, but they're not getting that visibility. You are. So work on that. Look presentable. And this brings me to the third one. Don't be in a rush. There's this one thing that I've noticed with the corporate spaces. When you're moving a little too fast, others think that you don't have much stuff to do. That's why you want to, read the emails. If it's a high priority issue, then respond back quickly. But if it's not a high priority issue, you want to somewhat take your time with responding back to certain emails. You really want to read through the email, assess the situation, and let's say lunch break is coming up. A lot of the times you want to take the lunch break before you respond to the emails. I wished it wasn't like this because I'm one of these guys that I want to work and I don't want to just postpone things for no reason. But these high level players and companies, the guys that have earned the right to just forward emails. They always say, Armani, you don't want to be too eager with your job because it makes it seem like you have nothing else going on. It seems like you're desperately looking for work. But if you take your time, and let's say every now and then, this is a psychological hack, by the way, you're not writing super polished. You'll see the higher up guys, they're not necessarily putting periods all the time. Every now and then, they have a typo and then they'll send the email. Use this with caution, by the way, because if you're the wrong guy watching this video and you're hearing, oh, well, Armani said write typos, you can make yourself look like a fool. It's just one thing I've noticed, that the managerial directors, they take their time to respond back, and they're not always writing in completely polished language. It seems as though this email is pulling them away from their real work, even though this email is their real work. It's weird. You gotta understand that office politics is really a thing, and everything's not logical. So the third tip I would say, if you have one of these email forwarding jobs, is to take your time to respond back. You don't always have to be in a rush unless it is a time-sensitive issue, unless it is a P1, a priority one, which is the highest level of active incident that you could probably encounter. If it's not that, take that lunch break, then respond back. This role is something you need to be grateful for. If you're watching this episode and you're like, man, he is literally describing my job right now, I have a feeling you're making anywhere from 75K to 150K. People will dream of jobs like this one that you have. There are people that are working in the coal fields, breaking their back, making 1/3 of what you're making. So don't be mopey, be grateful, understand that the corporate landscape has evolved for this job to be of high value. So do this job accordingly and don't whine too much. If you enjoyed today's talk, drop that like for me right on below and hit subscribe, hit that bell notification to never miss another episode again. I talk about public speaking, social skills, and different ways you can advance in your career. So hit subscribe, hit the bell notification, and never miss another talk. I will catch you next time.